Will you travel to Ireland in 2019? I have the Ireland travel tips you need to know before you go. Hi, everyone, and welcome back to the Traveling in Ireland podcast. It is almost 2019. The new year is just 2 days away, and I know that Ireland travel planning is on the upswing. I can see new visitors coming to the website and people searching for all those great tips to help them plan an amazing Ireland vacation. With that in mind, I wanted to share some 2019 Ireland travel tips that you need to know as you're planning that amazing vacation. Ireland tourism has changed so much in the last 5 years, let alone the last 10, that some of the tips that you may have read in the past few years might not be the best advice to follow now. So we're going to go through those tips you need to know and have at the front of your mind when you're planning your 2019 Ireland vacation. But first, I want to let you know that this podcast is sponsored by my award-winning book, Planning the Ireland Vacation of Your Dreams. This book is designed to guide you through every step of your Ireland vacation, from when to go and what to see, to what to pack and how to save money. Planning the Ireland Vacation of Your Dreams answers all the questions you have about Ireland travel, and probably some you haven't thought of yet. To learn more about the book and purchase it, visit store.irelandfamilyvacations.com and click the eBooks tab. All right, now let's dig into those Ireland travel tips you need to know for 2019. The first tip is probably a basic one for many people, and that's to check your passport. Now, you need to make sure that that passport is valid for at least the duration of your arrival, but preferably for 6 months from the date of arrival. While most visitors can stay in Ireland for up to 90 days with no visa, there have been cases of tourists being turned away if their passport expires too close to the end of the duration of their trip. So it's just smart to make sure that your passport is valid for more than the duration of your time in Ireland. Tip number 2, book your accommodations in advance. Now, there are loads of tips out there of people saying that they just land in Ireland and find their accommodations as they go. And it used to be that you could do that. But Ireland had almost 10 million visitors last year. And the busiest months between June and September, so many places are booked. They're sold out months and months in advance. So it's not quite so easy to do that anymore. And if you do try it, you may find that you end up miles and miles away from where you actually wanted to be. So if you're traveling, especially between the months of June and September, book every night of your stay in advance. If you want to stay in a castle or manor house or 4- and 5-star accommodations, you need to be booking those now. There are loads of places like that are already almost completely booked for the summer of 2019. So do book special accommodations in advance. Now, if you do want to kind of freewheel it and take it as it comes, you can certainly do that in the shoulder and the off season. Just be prepared if you're traveling during those times for places to be closed. There are a lot of rural areas that when their tourism draws shut down, so their castles or their attractions shut down for the slow season, they shut down too. So just be aware of that. But if you do that, I do recommend booking at least your first and your last night accommodation in advance, just so you can be sure that you have a place to stay when you arrive and you're tired from flying all night, and that you have a place to stay the night before you leave. So take care of those accommodations in advance. Another thing that you need to book in advance is your car rental. Now, there are also plenty of people out there, and I've had the comments on my own website of people saying, you know what, I just booked a car when I landed at the airport. And again, sometimes you can get away with that. Sometimes you might get a good deal. But if you're planning to visit during the busy season, that's not going to work. Not only will the car be more expensive if you book it day of, but there just might not be a car available. I actually have seen people arrive in Dublin Airport and go from car rental stand to car rental stand looking for an available car just to be told that there aren't any. And then they have to figure out a way to get to their first accommodation for the night, which may be 2 hours away. So you really do want to book that car in advance, especially if you're traveling anytime from June to September. You also really want to book in advance if you can't drive a standard manual transmission. Automatic transmission vehicles, while they are becoming more plentiful, are still not the main type of vehicle in Ireland. So if you need an automatic vehicle, book that in advance for sure. When you're doing your car rental research, do be sure to check out irishcarrentals.com. That is who I use and recommend. And you can save 10% with promotional code IFV. That's IFV for Ireland Family Vacations. All right, so the next tip I have for you is to follow the road less traveled. Back in episode 56, I shared the most and least popular destinations in Ireland. And while a lot of these popular places are really popular for a reason, they can get so busy. It can be so crowded at the Cliffs of Moher or Blarney Castle. Even Kilkenny is getting really busy. And sometimes it can just feel like you're surrounded by tourists, and that's not necessarily the feeling you want to leave Ireland with. So do check out that episode. Again, it's number 56, and get some tips on where you might not want to visit or where you might need to strategize your visit a little bit. And I share some of those strategies in that podcast as well. But do follow that road less traveled. There are so many places in Ireland that people just don't visit that much. County Offaly is one of my favorite places. I love the outdoors there, and Birr Castle is amazing. But many tourists to Ireland just don't go there. So that's kind of right between Galway and Dublin. It's an amazing place to hit, and it's a great stop during your vacation. Another spot, Mayo. I adore County Mayo. County Sligo, I'm going there again actually in January, and I cannot wait. It's a great county if you're looking to do outdoors and get a lot of really amazing history at the same time. Donegal, oh my gosh, Donegal, amazing. So there's so much more to Ireland than the Ring of Kerry and the Cliffs of Moher and Blarney Castle. And those are all great places, don't get me wrong, but there's a lot more to see and do. So keep your mind open to some of those destinations off the tourist trail and try to work them in a little bit. Also, travel a little slower. Don't try to visit the entire country in a 10-day trip. You're going to be driving so much and you're going to be so rushed. Take it slow and really enjoy those places that you are visiting. And finally, if you don't want to drive, you have more options than just hopping on a bus tour. My personal favorite, if I'm not driving, is to hire a driver guide. And while it is a bit more expensive, if you're traveling, especially with a group of 5 or 6, and you really break down your costs, you're going to find it comes out to be really affordable if you're splitting the cost with a larger group. The great thing about a driver guide is that you don't have one person driving and missing all the great scenery. I really love it. And we have had that experience. And full disclosure, I paid for it. It was not an experience that was given to me to review, but I actually did pay for our own driver guide. And it was terrific. We had someone who knew the roads and was able to navigate smaller roads that we would have completely missed had we not had somebody local who really knew the area like the back of their hand. Now, I have used and highly recommend Ireland Chauffeur Travel. Their guides are certified by Fáilte Ireland, and that's the Irish Tourism Board. The vehicles are comfortable and well maintained. The drivers are so friendly, and they really, really know their country. So if you're interested in a driver guide, I want you to contact my personal consultant, Michelle Lee, and her email is in the show notes. It's michelle@irelandchauffeurtravel.com. And you can get a quote for your own Ireland vacation. If you use code IRFV2018, you can save 5% and you'll receive a hamper of picnic goodies to enjoy during your trip. So again, that information is in the show notes, but do contact Michelle if you are at all interested in learning more about hiring a driver guide for your Ireland vacation. And if you don't have 2019 travel plans set up yet, but you're thinking you might want to go, I am looking at putting together a tour with me. I am looking at a small group chauffeur-driven tour of Ireland that will take place in September. Now, most of the information on this is still getting worked out. I don't have prices, I don't have dates, but I am getting interest information right now. So if you are interested in 10 days in Ireland, traveling in the beautiful luxury of an Ireland chauffeur travel vehicle, and joining me in some of my favorite places in Ireland, there is a survey for you in the show notes, and I would love to have you fill that out and join me in Ireland in 2019. Now, I always end the podcast with 3 places to add to your Ireland itinerary. And because it's just me today, I actually turned to my family to get their input on places that you should add to your itinerary. So my youngest daughter said that everyone should visit Murphy's Ice Cream. Now, Murphy's Ice Cream is so good. It really is something that I crave when I'm not there. It's local, fresh made ice cream. They source everything locally. They harvest their own sea salt. It's absolutely amazing. This ice cream company started in Dingle. So you'll find actually 2 shops in Dingle because it's so popular. But you can also find shops in Dublin, Kilkenny City, Killarney, and Galway City. So when you're traveling through Ireland, look for the beautiful bright blue of Murphy's Ice Cream and be sure to stop. My personal favorite is the caramelized brown bread. But you're welcome to choose your own favorite, and they will give you little samples to taste and try until you make a decision. So, Murphy's Ice Cream. My eldest daughter said that people should really visit Loch Esk Castle Hotel. Now, this is up in Donegal. She remembers it as being out of the way and really nice. I remember it as being one of the most relaxing hotel stays I have ever had in Ireland. It's located just outside of Donegal town, and it's kind of in the southern part of Donegal, which is the northwesternmost county in Ireland. So it is out of the way, but it's so worth the trip. This castle was actually an empty shell about 10, 11 years ago, and it's been completely restored. The front rooms as you walk in are just like you would have seen when the castle was new. They designed those and filled them with beautiful furniture, all based on photographs from the history of the castle. And then the rooms themselves are spacious and so comfortable. It's really an amazing experience, and Loch Esk Castle Hotel is fabulous. You'll find a link in the show notes to our stay, has some video and photos obviously, and then kind of what we thought of our stay at the castle. And then my husband really recommends a falconry visit. Now, we've had a few great falconry visits, but he and I both agreed that our falconry experience at Adare Country Pursuits, which is in County Limerick, just south of Limerick City at Adare Manor, was probably one of the most thorough that we had ever had. It was really kind of amazing because not only did we get to fly Harris Hawks, which is what you would fly at any falconry experience anywhere you go in the country, but we also had the chance to learn about and handle owls, eagles, and falcons. Willie and Liam Ford and their team of falconers are just outstanding, and it's really just an amazing experience and highly, highly recommended. So there you go. Those are the tips you need to know as you're planning your 2019 Ireland vacation, as well as 3 places to add to your Ireland itinerary as recommended by my family, who have a little experience traveling through Ireland. As always, if you have any questions, please do email me, Jody at IrelandFamilyVacations.com, and I am happy to answer them. If you enjoyed the podcast, please be sure to leave a 5-star review on iTunes, Stitcher, Spotify, or wherever you listen to podcasts. Your reviews help people find my podcast. So I really appreciate if you take the time to do that. Thanks again so much for listening, and until next time, Slán go fóill.